Good evening. Thank you for joining us at Epiphany Lutheran Church in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Kevin Barger, the Director of Music Ministries, and this is Music Minute, where we take a look at the online hymns for tomorrow's worship service a little bit early. So tonight we're going to start with our gathering hymn, which is The Son of God, Our Christ. And this was actually but became a hymn as a result of a hymn society search. They were looking for hymns that were written by people under the age of 30, and this was part of those hymns back in 1957. It was actually used during a National Youth Week with further language inclusivity changes over the years as it's made its way to our hymnal. It used some old language originally. The hymn writer served in the Navy and the Army, studied medicine, worked in the steel mill, and went to seminary. I think he covered just about everything you possibly could. This is one of those tunes that are used with many different texts, so you'll probably recognize it, if not with the words that we'll sing tomorrow, maybe a different hymn that you know. And the melody is deceptively simple, actually, and you take note of that as you listen. And it's not a hymn that we have frequented at Epiphany too often. We've done it more in recent years than we did a long time ago. So this is the Son of God, our Christ, and hope you enjoy. So if you listen closely tomorrow, there's a unique introduction to this in that it takes the hymn in the tempo that we will sing it, which is one way you hear the sort of more grand chords, the quarter notes, and it's coupled with, in between, you'll hear snippets of the same melody at double tempo, so at eighth notes. So listen for that in the introduction tomorrow if you're online with us. So let me get rid of these pages here, and we'll move on to our second, or hymn of the day for tomorrow, which is "You Have Come Down to the Lakeshore." And this is based on the call of Peter, Andrew, James, and John, as you might have guessed. It has been transcribed to more than 80 languages over time. The hymn was first sung in Puerto Rico, and the first song, it was the first time it was sung in the St. Olaf Chapel was in 1988. And actually it has served Roman Catholic parishes in Anzuola, San Sebastian, and Madrid. This is "You Have Come Down to the Lakeshore." I have to get my pages out. So we're coming to you tonight from the new music room here at Epiphany, where we're enjoying our new Steinway here and enjoying the sounds that it makes. So enjoy and listen. You can almost feel the rocking in that hymn as you are riding that boat along the lakeshore. And for our sending hymn, this is "I Want to Walk as a Child of the Light." This hymn was actually intended as scriptural meditation and prayer around light. And as you might have guessed, I want to walk as a child of the light. With a master's in organ performance, Kathleen Tomerson has served congregations in more than 5 denominations and in more than 5 states. And a little bit of an interesting tidbit on how this came to be. The tune was written starting in St. Louis, so not to be confused, because the hymn tune St. Louis is actually a little town of Bethlehem that we sing. But anyway, so she started in St. Louis. She and her husband were there, and it was a really hot summer, and her mother was coming, and she was delayed by an airstrike. So her mother ended up not being able to get there. The temperature was 105 degrees. They had no air conditioning. Her son had heat rash, and there were brownouts. So things were not going so well. So Kathleen and her husband decided to travel and make the drive to her mother's air-conditioned house in Houston instead until the heat wave broke. So the tune was finished, that had been started in St. Louis. It was finished in Houston, and that is where it got its name. The tune name is Houston. So this is I Want to Walk as a Child of the Light. So I hope you enjoyed our musical journey through the old Summa Corda and into the lake shore and the boat, and ending with the grand light of I Want to Walk as a Child of the Light. So if you are joining us tomorrow in person, that is at 10 o'clock, please make sure that you sign up, and note that there are new sign-up procedures this week. So just make sure you take note of that when you're going in and checking that out. And if you want to join us online, we're here on Facebook and YouTube at 10:30. Thanks again for joining. Have a great evening.